Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Eye Opener Society. You have me, Gary,
Me, Hannah.
and I want to welcome everybody back, and I want to thank everybody for joining us each and every Monday when these episodes come out. It's so nice and so appreciative of you to turn us on, listen to us. Please share us. Please let your friends know about us. Turn them on. Follow us on Facebook. We
Let us
have a
know
good
what you
following.
think.
Yeah, let us know what you think too. Give us a little bit of feedback. We don't go for the stupid stuff. I mean, constructive criticism is okay, but we already know our weaknesses, okay? We already know.
We don't argue.
Yeah, we don't argue. We never argue. But yeah, definitely some feedback, or hell, if you got some topics you want to hear, jump on, or even better, yeah, join us on Facebook when we have our Behind the Eyes, because that's where you can join us and talk about all the topics that we went over for the month. So it's great. We love to hear from everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely
That's
join
at the
us.
end of the month,
Hmm.
each month. We
Yep.
usually put an ad or schedule out on Facebook like, oh, it's gonna be on this day.
Yeah. So look out for it. That's the best way to get us. Meantime, eyeopenersociety.podbean.com too. That's our website to find all of our episodes. And we have all the links up at the top for our Reaper apparel, for Bear Blend, and also our Buy Us a Coffee. So if you use any of those three links, you'll help support us in some way, shape, or form. And again, much appreciated if you do. I want to jump into this episode because I was excited when Hannah said she wanted to talk about it. And I was like, because this is a topic I can talk about forever. But I'll try and keep it short this way, we won't lose any listeners. But Hannah wanted to talk about nature, but in a much grander scale as far as its benefits and, what? Tell us, where did you want to?
Yeah, so you know me. I've always been that person where, I feel like not enough people spend enough time outside. I have always turned to outside, especially now living in like a house where I have like a bigger yard and everything, and I feel safe. But just going outside and letting nature do what it's, here to do, and that's, heal you, boost your mood. You know, People don't realize like how much just going outside, leaving the TV, leaving your phone inside will do for you.
And if anybody's listened to us for any amount of time, you know me, I'm always outdoors. I do not like being inside. As a matter of fact, since we have our portable little pad here for our recording, the Zoom PodTrack 4, the P4 actually. I just want to give a quick shout out. That's what we use to record.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, but it's portable, and I'm thinking we're really going to start, especially now summer's here, to start recording some more outdoor episodes like we used to, because we love doing them.
Yeah.
It's great to hear all nature in the background and everything else, and we feel good and comfortable with that. We do talk about this, and especially me with being outdoors. I do. I come home and I got my little spot right outside, my window. It's got my chair, got my table, and I do everything outside as soon as I get home from work. It's my release, it's my freedom, because when you're outdoors, it's amazing when you feel everything in nature, the air, the sun, the wind, the breezes, the birds. I could go on and on,
Mhm.
just how beneficial it is to the mind and how it helps to relax. And you brought up a good point where it's like, I do, when you go through all these neighborhoods and you see people with beautiful backyards, I never see anybody in them.
Mm.
Doesn't mean everybody's always indoors all the time. You spend all the money on your backyard, your porch, your decks, and you use them once or twice a year. It's such a waste.
Yeah. Then there's people like me who it's like, I can't afford to redo my deck, but do I have plans for outside in my backyard because I want like to add to my oasis,
Mhm.
And I don't mean like crowd up my yard. It's just like bring more nature to life type things. Like, I want more plants. I want this and I want that, but it's just to like benefit my time outside.
Mhm. Yes, we do. We enjoy that outdoor time. We enjoy smoking our cigars outside, having our drinks. It's comforting. It
Mhm.
really is. And it just adds to that whole mood. Even if you are feeling kind of, worn out and drained from the day, or it really puts a real positive energy, a good positive spin on everything. Once you're doing it outside, take that roof away from your head for a while. Like you say, turn off the TVs. Better yet, throw away the TVs. I mean, they're worthless at this point, especially to me. If I turn on a TV now, even with something I want to watch,
He falls asleep.
I fall asleep. It sucks. It literally drains the energy right out of me.
Mhm.
And it's just because over the years I've grown away from the television and to putting down the electronic devices and all that and just spend that moment. I love to meditate outdoors because of how beneficial is it when you
Mhm.
got all of the elements surrounding you that reaches inside of your body and changes the chemical makeup. Like it just completely transforms you. And when you're in that meditative state, you actually feel it. So you actually feel it healing you mentally, physically. And that's what I really wanted to hit on with this is the grounding, walking
Yes.
barefoot in grass and dirt. This has been shown. There's been studies with it. It's we as human beings, since we are energy and we build up all of this kind of electrical static from the day. We're underneath fluorescent lights, at least I know I am, and I hate it. And all this stuff, it just builds up and it's just a bowl of bad electric that needs to come out and needs to be released. And that's what grounding does. And when you take off your shoes, and it doesn't take long at all to walk across a patch of grass for a little while or even stand in it, you discharge all that built up static
Mhm.
discharges through the earth, which is just like grounding. We're no different than any other electric appliance. We are energy. And once we realize that, and once we relieve all that, swelling's supposed to go down. This is what I've read and all that. Because one of the biggest indicators of pain or feeling bad is actually swelling. That's why turmeric is supposed to be really good because any kind of swelling creates these problems. So the grounding is supposed to help with that. I've looked, and I don't know if I want to spend my money. There's pads you can buy that you can actually sleep on because you're supposed to ground them. And the
Yeah.
pads. I don't know. I don't use them. I mean, they seem like a great concept and a great idea, but I'd rather just go outside and do it. Why spend money when there's stuff out there for free?
Yeah. Catch me like if it's raining, I'm laying outside in the
Yes.
rain.
Hmm.
Yeah.
There's nothing because these are the elements,
Mhm.
earth, fire, water, air. It's all part of the elements, and we
Yeah.
are made up of each. And then, depending on whom you are and your birth signs and all, you're probably more in tune to certain ones. But yeah, being in outside, even in the rain, especially in the summertime, and even a heavy downpour, why not?
Yeah.
Enjoy it. If you just enjoy that moment, and really just focus on it, you become a better person and you feel so much better about yourself. Like I love it when the sun's beating on me.
Yeah. Even
It's
when it's like it makes me hot, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I feel so alive. I feel relaxed."
Yep. And then air. I mean, air is what
Oh,
giving us life. We're breathing it. Without it, we can't breathe. To breathe that, these are the benefits of it. And I can go even further.
yeah, like windy days, sometimes, of course, wind could, of course, be, annoying and stuff like that if you want to go out and do something that the wind will affect. But when I think of wind, I think of like Gary knows what I'm talking about when I say this, but when a big gust of wind comes and my son, just the look on his face, just like the benefit and like the happiness that the nature just gave him in that moment, it's just like something that like you sit and just in awe
Hmm.
because you can just see how it just like made his mood and like made him feel just by his
Hmm.
facial expression. It's like so beautiful.
Hmm. It is. And these are the things that I really strive for. It's just, I know I'll always remain sane and calm as long as there's outdoors. And to take it further, I'm just talking so, excitedly about just stepping outside my door. But when I do go out into nature, into the forest, into the woods where I'm hoping I get lost, I just wander. and you find all these new paths, and you're seeking out all the details of so many things. Nature is just amazing when you're looking at it. Like, I try to concentrate as much as I can on the ground because I'm looking at the floral growth, all the different plants, and you know the fungi, and no matter what it is, it's all beautiful. It's all beneficial, and this is just an ecosystem that's keeping us all alive. And look at that beautiful detail. Sometimes even the stones, the rocks.
Yeah.
And rocks are amazing to me because every rock, I mean, millions of years old. Like, they've
Yeah.
been on Earth for millions and millions. It's so hard when you're holding up one of those pieces of stone to just think how long it has existed. And that just puts an amazement, in my mind. And you feel connected to that because we've been around, like our souls are endless. So you feel kind of connected to all that bodies of water, lakes, streams, creeks, the sounds that they're making, that babbling brook alongside with the breezes blowing, puts you into such a different state. I recommend if you don't get out that often for a hike or something, look for the places that may have easy to walk, kind of level, areas just, to start out with. Unlike me, like I said, I just go out and get lost. I can't walk that much as I used to, but when I'm outdoors, I try as hard as I don't care.
Yeah.
I do it. And if I got to climb, if I'm out of breath, I push through it. But if you're just doing it for the first time, try something, get out there, get into the greenery, become a part of it. Find the seasons you like best. Some people like it in the fall when the leaves are crunching underneath your feet and the colors and the beauty of that. Also, some people like me, I don't mind the summer as much. I don't mind sweating so bad. I'm still part of that,
Mhm.
wondrous nature.
Spring, everything
Mhm.
comes to life again.
Yeah.
Winter,
Well,
I hate to admit it,
mhm.
I'm not really a fan of winter, but there's something about opening up your blinds in the morning to like that crisp, perfectly untouched winter snow-covered lawn that's just like, wow, that's gorgeous and
Mhm.
ugly, at the same
Yes,
time, but it's like
mhm.
it's gorgeous.
Yeah, and I've taken hikes in the winter in deep snows. I've taken hikes, and it is an experience. That real cold air sometimes when you breathe that in too,
Mhm.
there's just some, I think it's the cleanest air that you're breathing because
Yeah.
nothing is bad is really living in it. All the pollen is gone and all. So when you're breathing that in, it's the cleanest air you can breathe in. And I've sat in snowbanks and, kind of protected myself from the wind in them. And you become connected. And they always say it's like our natural rhythms of our body are so destroyed because we put ourselves on these really weird schedules where we have to get up for work and all this.
Mhm.
If we just allowed our bodies to just naturally go back to its normal cycles, we can get up at our normal time. We get enough sleep. And I found I sleep the best when I'm outside. You get, instead of being in an artificial environment inside of a house with all the kind of, oh, I think they call it like ozone stuff that's inside of a home from everything that's, coming off from the paint or whatever. When you're outside, you have none of that.
Yeah.
And this is why I always go off the rails on things like chemtrails and, all the other pollutants that are being sprayed, that stuff that we don't even know. It's destroying the one last natural thing that we have to keep us happy, to keep us alive, to keep us breathing and healthy. That's why
Yeah.
I go off on a tangent on it. I try and find, places that are so untouched, or at least as untouched as possible from people, and just go out and stay in that, whether it be out on a lake somewhere. I haven't done that yet, where I just sat out in the middle of a lake or, a body of water, but
I've done that.
yeah.
I had like in a kayak, just
Hmm.
sat in the middle of the water, just let it drift me wherever it wants to, and just
Hmm.
like just look around. And it's just like it's so still in that
Hmm.
moment. Like it's kind of one of those moments where you almost feel like your mind is clear. You're not thinking of anything but your surroundings.
Hmm. Yeah, it's turns on so much. It turns on also your survival modes and all, because now your body realizes that you're you're out, you're away from all of the, amenities and survival stuff that we have, food, shelter, clothing. You are just out in the middle of nowhere. Your survival instincts kick in and it puts you on a heightened alert, which makes you more aware of all these beauties and all these details.
Yeah.
And I watched a lot of these. I know they came out a few years ago, whatever, a bunch of movies where survivals out on sea, yeah, where people are just out in the middle of, surviving. I don't know why I find such a beauty in being stranded in an ocean.
Yeah.
I do. I think the peace and the serenity of it is just wonderful. It's beautiful. I mean, I hope I don't get caught.
I know, right?
But at the same time, I feel it's great. I just did. I watch movies like that I could stay awake, and a lot of them with no dialect, nothing, no talking, just somebody stranded somewhere. I find a peace in that. And even the ones that get lost in the woods and all that, real survivalists. I'm down for that. That's why I try and get lost all the time. I do enjoy that. I get so connected to my surroundings with that.
Yeah. So I did a little bit of research. We're not really we're not scripted. No, we're not really. We are not scripted. But I wanted to kind of bring, some facts, as far as, things that, studies that have been done, like we were kind of discussing a little bit earlier. So, being in nature, it improves your mood. But there's some things that like actually shocked me when I was like looking into this. Benefits of nature. It boosts your immune function. There was a Japanese study that showed that people who spend 6 hours in the woods over a 2-day period can increase their white blood count cells naturally.
Amazing. So, I believe that.
Nature connects you to others, go meet friends at a park, improve sleep. This is what I wanted to say. So typically your body actually does follow the sun. So, you're awake when the sun comes up and you go to sleep when the sun, goes down and the moon comes up. So, that has drastically been affected, especially, when the pandemic hit and everyone was kind of stuck inside, the electronics and everything around were really messing with I'm so sorry, people's sleep schedules which is causing them, what people don't realize is that you're not going outside. You're affecting the natural hormone of melatonin that your body is creating. So just stepping outside and, not blocking yourself in through walls and electronics and things like that, it will actually help improve your sleep. The sun, when it's beating on you, it actually, especially if you're sitting outside later in the day, it like naturally helps your melatonin increase. So your body feels well rested or like, energized, but in enough of a calm way where you will be able to get an improved sleep. Because I've experienced that. I know you have, because I have to wake him up outside.
Yep.
But, to go on lowering stress and anxiety levels. It's been studied that immersion in nature can lower your blood pressure naturally. Reduced depression symptoms, being outside. There are people who go through what's called light therapy for depression and even like skin conditions. I do want to clarify, I'm not a doctor. This is just off of, research that I've looked at. But, people who have depression and anxiety or like skin conditions, like my husband, he went through light therapy. And when I tell you that him going outside was more beneficial than going through like a machine light therapy, there's that. Being outside, reducing irritability. He can second guess with me. Like I'll be in such pissed off mood in the morning and he's like, oh yeah, let's go sit outside. And then I'm just like a new bitch when I go outside. Cause like I ground. My most important thing. I'm always barefoot. My kid is always barefoot. And I just let nature do its job and I'm in a better mood. Spending time in nature, You don't live by, you don't live by like the rules in a house. You know what I mean? Like we always tell my son all the time, like, you can't throw balls in the house. You can't do this in the house. No, outside, do what the hell you want. I mean, obviously, if you live in a populated area, don't go out naked because you could probably get in trouble. But you live out in the middle of nowhere, go for it.
Yeah.
But, you're not constricted.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Right.
no, I mean, there's rules, but there's no rules.
It's back to normal habitat, basically.
Yes. Improving your physical health. That's an easy one,
Absolutely.
instead of sitting there twiddling your thumbs or burning
Watching or playing on cell
phone,
or
burning
TV.
holes in your eyes, watching or playing video games or something. Go outside. I've been trying to walk more with my dog and, walking with my son and just going outside and kicking a ball around or, throwing a ball and letting him hit it with his bat and stuff. Just, you would be surprised, like how, like my husband, like he golfs and, I said, well, why don't you try to walk the course instead of taking a golf cart? Down 3 pounds. It's just like something that like you don't think about doing it because you're just so used to the convenience of not letting nature give you the natural free benefits that it's doing for you. It also, to end on, the multiple things that I researched, the one that really got me excited was it boosts people's creativity.
I was just going to mention this.
Yes. There you go.
I was going to bring that up as a last point because when us as podcasters and we're release, episodes every week, we need topics every week. We need to feel inspired to get in here and talk about something. And I go out for walks. And as soon as I'm outside, my head starts to race with all of these ideas. And I can't wait to get home quick enough so I can start writing everything down. Because you get so inspired. It's healthy because I'm walking and my body's like, oh, finally, you're not sitting down in front of a computer all day. You're outside. And I start looking at everything and everything I see, I can relate to some sort of a topic that I can talk about and, bring up, in conversation. It's extremely inspiring. And that's where my whole set of recent notes came from. It was just from one walk that was maybe an hour and a half long. But I got so much stuff now that I can get to and talk about just because I was outside.
Yeah. It's just like one of those things for me where it's like, it's funny because I always look back on like crappy days where, it's not really safe to be outside and the mood I feel that I can't go outside. It's just like, I feel like I'm stuck. I feel like I can't reach nature. So sometimes when it's like a really crappy day, I will, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'll have to go stand out on the front porch just to get like a little bit of that nature fix that I need because I can't be cooped up. It's hard for me. I work from home. I mean, I love working from home. I'm in my own personal bubble. I wear what I want. But I have to go outside at least a couple of times a day. Otherwise, I just find myself irritable. So it's just amazing. I look at people like us where we're like, we have to go outside. Like, even if it's like dead of winter, we're like, I have to stand outside at some point in today because it's just, we're aware of what nature does for us and it's completely free. I just find people, I don't want to touch on this too much, but I see a lot of people buying supplements for things like whether it be magnesium, melatonin, this and iron, that and that. But if you would just go outside and like I said, I don't want to touch on it too much, but realize what's around you, basil, lemon balm, mint, rosemary, sage, dandelion.
Yep.
There, honeysuckle. Like there are so many things that are just right there or easy to plant. Like I have so many planted that are so beneficial for you that are just easily accessible right there outside than all these supplements that you're putting in your body. Obviously, like I said, I'm not a medical professional. always, Google Lens or look something up before you just go ahead and put it in your mouth. But
Mhm.
it just amazes me like how, oh God, like lazy, you know?
Yeah, yeah. People do get lazy where you just want supplements, but all this stuff occurs naturally outdoors.
Outdoors. Yes. Like I said, like lowering your blood pressure naturally over taking like a blood pressure pill. Like if I had high blood pressure, my ass would be outside, you
Yep,
know?
that's what I
With my
do.
anxiety right now, I do take medicine for like my depression because I'm just in a spot in my life right now. But previous to, how I'm right now, 4 years, it was like
Mhm,
4 years, I used outside as my medicine.
mhm,
Like it helped me. It helped, make it manageable on a level. Obviously I discussed this with a professional, but it worked for me. So I want sometimes I just wish I could like just take everyone's phones away for a day,
mhm.
lock
Yeah.
their doors. You can go out, you can go back inside at this time just to see like how the world would be, close malls down, close everything, non-essential down and just go to a park,
Mhm.
go sit somewhere, just see how happy and healthy like the world would be just for one day.
And you don't like me growing up in the Bronx in a concrete jungle.
Hmm.
I was outdoors all the time. We rode up bikes everywhere,
Yeah.
walked
I
everywhere.
walked everywhere.
Yeah, and being in the Bronx, there's tons of greenery. I found every single park, explored as much as I can. And if I didn't want to go that far, I found the smallest little patches
Hmm.
of, greenery that I could, and I'd hide. Man, I found some cool places, man, like alongside of highways, I found them and they were so cool to explore. And even back then as a kid, living in a concrete jungle, I still connected myself to nature. It was one of my priorities, and I
Yeah.
love doing it, and I still do today.
Yeah. I love it. I just love outside. I am growing like a lot of herbs and stuff this year, which I'm really excited about, like lavender. My sage is out of this world.
Mm.
I'm growing chamomile, and it's just nice to help grow something in nature that not only I'm giving to nature, but I'm also,
Benefiting from it.
benefiting from. It's just an amazing thing. And I'm guilty, ask my 16-year-old self. My ass was, yeah, I was outside, but I wasn't allowing nature to ground me and benefit me. But now, 10 years later, my kid's outside grounding constantly. And the way his mood shifts when he goes outside is just like unmatched. And the way my mood does, it's just outside is so beneficial. And I just want, as the eye opener society, I want to open everyone's eyes
Hmm.
to just think about it. Think
Yeah.
about going outside for maybe, start out small and
Hmm.
just keep going and see, do a little test or something like that. 7 days, do a little journal. I
Hmm.
went outside for X amount of time. This is how I feel afterwards and see what it does
Hmm.
for you.
And for those of you who already do it, reach out to us. Go to the Eye Opener Society at gmail.com. Reach out to us and tell us if you have been part of the outdoors. What has it done for you? We'd love to hear from everybody and everybody's experiences from this because, yeah, I think human beings as a whole, we need this more than anything. And we need it more than anything now. It'll change our moods. It'll get rid of so many ridiculous medications and so many ridiculous medical conditions
Hmm.
that I think we have just because we become products of our environment. And because we're in the wrong environment, we're in the wrong environment way too often. And we need to be outside and we need to be doing things that are closer to nature to help us heal.
Yeah. And don't be messaging me like, oh, if I go outside, I get an allergic reaction because I'm allergic to pollen. Okay. Take a Claritin. You'll be all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, everybody's got allergies sometimes, but we get these allergies because we don't spend enough
Enough
time.
time outside.
Yeah.
As me, a person who literally got held back as a child in school because I had such bad allergies that they thought I was like deathly sick and
Mhm.
going to get kids sick. I still have some flare ups every once in a while. But that's probably when they're, putting chemtrails in the air. But anyway,
Oh.
but my allergies have progressively gotten better for
Mhm.
me. And like I said, I was like that kid that like my eyes were literally like I looked like a fly. They were red. I had hives everywhere. And now it's like I'm good. I'm like I just go outside. I live my life and I let nature, do what it's supposed to do for me.
Mhm. Yep. And if it really does bother you, and you really do, wait till winter.
Yeah.
Learn how to enjoy winter. And
Or
because that's the cleanest air, or even fall when all that starts to go away.
mhm. Yeah.
So we hope you enjoyed this little talk. I know I did because
No, I'm like, I'm gonna go step
yeah, the
outside
first
and
thing
do
I'm
this.
going to do is go outside. So yeah, definitely. We want to thank you again. We are the Eye Opener Society. Hannah and Gary, find us on eyeopenersociety.podbean.com. Find our sponsors at the top of the page, and also give a shout out. Let me shout out to the Josh and Paulie show. If you're into a little bit of comedy along mixed with some seriousness, because actually they do philosophize about some things too.
Yeah.
But yeah, Josh and Paulie show. Look up their podcast. Absolutely great people. And we look forward to hearing, or actually, we look forward to you hearing from us every Monday when our shows are released. So take care.
See ya.